All right, guys, welcome to part 3 of the C-33 painting contractor's license study guide. So now we're going to talk about rollers, or roller covers, whatever you want to name it. So paint rollers are an essential tool in the painting industry. It's designed for fast, even application over large surfaces. Different types of rollers are used based on the surface texture, paint type, and project requirements. Types of paint rollers and their uses are as below listed. So you got your regular standard rolls, most common. It holds a lot of paint and provides smooth application. It's best used for walls, ceilings, and drywall. You got your foam rollers, right? It absorbs and releases paint evenly, and it leaves no lint behind. So the best uses for that would be cabinets, doors, furniture, smooth surfaces, etc. You got your nap fabric rollers. It offers different thicknesses for various surfaces, texture, walls, stucco, and concrete. You got your microfiber rollers. It holds more paint and leaves an ultra smooth finish. It is typically used for high gloss or semi-gloss paints, like let's say like wood finishes, enamels, etc. You got your texture rollers, right? It's patterned. It has a patterned surface for decorative finishes, typically used in faux finishes, wallpaper-like textures, etc. And you would have your mini rollers, so trim or hot dog rollers. So it's typically used for small and narrow and precise areas, for tight spaces, cabinets, and trim work. There are many sizes that manufacturers offer. So you would have your larger one would be an 18-inch. This is that big one that extends, it has the frame itself extends. It's used for commercial walls, ceilings, big projects, etc. You got your 9-inch, which is your standard. This is what mostly everybody uses. It's a common size for walls and ceilings. You got your 6 to 7-inch. This is a mid-size roller. This is for narrow walls, furniture, and smaller areas. You got your 4-inch, which would be your mini roller. This would be for like doors, cabinets, and tight spaces. And you got your 2-inch. This is a hot dog roller. That would be used typically for trims, corners, and edges. What are paint rollers made of, right? So you got your synthetic fibers. That's polyester and nylon. So they're durable and shed resistant. They're best for latex paints, smooth to semi-rough surfaces. You would have your natural fibers. This is for lamb's wool and mohair. What they do is they hold more paint, and they offer a smooth finish. Typically, lamb's naturals is used for oil-based paints, varnishes, and glossy surfaces. Foam. For your foam rollers, it's typically for smooth and even application and leaves no lint behind. Its best uses are for cabinets, doors, and furnitures. You got your microfiber rollers too, made out of microfiber. Those offer extra paint retention, so it holds more paint and it leaves a smoother finish. That's typically used for high gloss and semi-gloss paints. You got your textured rubber and patterned foam. It creates patterns and textures, and it's used for decorative wall finishes. What is roller nap, right? When we're talking about this, roller nap refers to the thickness or length of the fibers, the pile, on a paint roller cover. The nap determines how much paint the roller holds and how it applies to different surfaces. So short nap, for smoother finishes, it holds less paint. And long nap, for more texture, and it holds more paint, obviously. So you got your 1/4-inch short nap. What that does, it leaves an extra smooth finish, and it's best used for cabinets, doors, furniture, metal, and glossy finishes. You got your 3-inch medium nap. It's for smooth to semi-smooth. So that would be for your drywall, ceilings, and interior walls. You got your 1/2-inch, your standard. That's for semi-smooth to lightly textured. That's used for textured drywall and low texture stucco and paneling. You got your 3/4-inch thick nap. That's for semi-rough surfaces. So for stucco, brick, concrete, and rough wood. And then you would go to the highest would be your 1-inch to 1/4-inch extra thick nap. That is for super thick or for super rough surfaces, heavy textured walls, very rough concrete, and cylinder block. All right, now when it comes to applying paint with the roller, right? Remember, guys, I know some of you guys already know this. That's fine. I'm not trying to, like, judge your knowledge or nothing. This is just what the state's going to want you to know. Okay, so you're going to want to prime the roller by running tape to remove loose lint hairs. Okay, so you prep it. You start with a W or an M pattern, and you roll in zigzags shapes to spread the paint evenly. You fill in gaps with smooth vertical strokes. This will ensure uniform coverage. You keep a wet edge. That means constantly keeping it wet as to avoid roller marks by blending sections while the paint is still wet. And you apply multiple thin coats if needed. This will prevent drips and uneven texture. So here we have some examples of rollers. So here is a 9-inch, 7-inch, and a 4-inch. You got your lamb's wool, you got your polyester, and you got your foam. Here you got your different sizes, right? You got your foam, which is like, I would say, a 1/4 inch. You got your 1/4 inch. You got your 3/8, etc. And if you look right here at the top, you got your 1 1/4 inch to 1.5 inch, and that's the thickest texture available. I'm pretty sure that there's probably a manufacturer out there that has like a 2-inch roller or like a 3-inch for like super heavy stuff. So just keep an eye out for that sort of thing. All right, what are roller frames in painting? The roller frame is the handle and support structure that holds a paint roller cover. It allows painters to attach and to rotate the roller cover for smooth and efficient paint application. Different types of roller frames are used based on the size, grip, and extension capabilities. So here we have some examples of this. You got your 9-inch standard. Okay, this is used for walls, ceilings, and large surfaces. You got your 12 to 18-inch, your large commercial space. It's meant for commercial spaces and high efficiency coverage. You got your 4 to 6-inch mini frame, meant for trim furniture indoors and detailed work. And you got your 2 to 3-inch detail frame for tight corners and small touch-ups. So remember, this is your standard, your large, your mini, and this would be like the hot dog mini or super mini, whatever you want to call it. All right, paint buckets and holders. So paint buckets, trays, and holders are essential tool that help store, mix, and distribute paint efficiently during painting projects. They improve application, reduce mess, and enhance workflow for professionals and DIY painters. So most likely you guys all have had your standard plastic or metal paint buckets, your 1 to 5 gallons. Of course, it's durable, it's reusable. You can't go wrong with that. And it holds a lot of paint. You got your handheld paintbrush, your paint pail, the little one, meant for lightweight. It has a built-in handle. That's meant for trim work. You got your disposable paint buckets, your liners, those plastic covers that go over. You just throw them if they dry out, so you don't have to clean the bucket. You got your bucket with the grid, right? It has a built-in grid, or you add a grid to it. If you're dealing with a tray, you could also have plastic trays, metal trays, deep well trays, like your tray bucket with the tray, doesn't matter. It's just a quick example of them. So here you have your bucket that's square with built-in, it has a built-in, and they also added their own tray system, their own rail. Here you have a regular 5 bucket with the rail and handle with the roll. Here you have your handheld your handheld bucket, I guess, with its disposable liner. You can see that little black thing, you just throw it away. And here you have your tray roller holder. All right, extension poles. What are extension poles? An extension pole is a long adjustable rod that attaches paint rollers, brushes, and sprayers to help painters reach high or difficult areas with ladders. So most of you guys have used a telescopic extension pole. That means it goes in and out. So it could really be like an 8-foot extension pole, but it'll extend all the way up to like 16 feet, etc. You got your fixed extension pole. That means it's singular. So like a broom extension pole, right? Pretty much. It doesn't do anything other than just the fixed size, whatever size it is. That's what it is. You got your quick release. That means the attachment to the top, it just releases the holder or the frame right away. It releases it. And of course, you got different pole lengths. You got 2 foot to 4 foot. You got your 4 foot to 8 foot. You got your 8 foot to 16, and of course, you got even higher ones that you could add. You could actually add them together and make them longer, or one that's super long, that's like 16 plus feet in length. So I'm not going to go over in detail what each one does because you don't need it. But if you want to read it, go ahead. It's right here. So here. So what are extensions poles made out of? So this I will mention only because it is important to know. Especially they might ask you, if you're going to be working with an electrical line, what sort of material should you use, right? You want to go with something like fiberglass. So materials, right? What are they made out of? If it's aluminum, it is lightweight, durable, and rust resistant. So typically, general paint, it's meant for general painting and professional use. If it's made out of fiberglass, it's strong, non-conductive, and weather resistant. It's used for exterior painting, and it is electric safe. So that means it won't conduct electricity. You got your wood. So it's heavy and sturdy and inexpensive. That means they're cheap. And it's pretty much it's for basic painting jobs, and it's also safe for electrical. And you got your plastic and composite. So it's lightweight, affordable, but less durable, and it's DIY and it's meant for DIY and light duty painting. So now we're gonna go into spatulas and putty knives. Or as many of you guys have used, the 5-in-1. So spatulas, scrapers, and putty knives are essential hand tools used for surface preparation, repair, and paint removal in painting projects. So your putty knife is basically a flexible flat blade available in metal or plastic. It's used for spreading putty, patching holes, and smoothing fillers. A spatula, known as a flexible scraper, is a thin flexible blade for precision. It's used for applying and blending paint, fine wall, and used for fine wall repairs. Your paint scraper is a rigid, sharp blade for removing old paint. Pretty much it's meant for stripping, peeling paint, scraping off the dried residue. A 5-in-1, also known as a multi-purpose scraper, includes a flat blade, curved edge, and point. It's used for scraping, opening paint cans, and spreading putty. Wall scrapers, also known as wide blades, are large, rigid blades for broad areas. It's used for removing wallpaper and smoothing drywall with more mud. Large blade scrapers, it uses replaceable razor blades at the handle. It's used for scraping glass, removing dried out paint, and pretty much any paint drips that are on the surface. And the power scraper, it could be an electric or pneumatic. It is motorized for heavy duty scraping. It's typically used in industrial paint removal and large scale stripping. So here we have some examples of spatulas and putty knives and a 5-in-1. So you don't gotta memorize this. This is just basically some that you'll always use. They will ask you what's the difference between the 5-in-1 and the spatula or something like this, but just remember 5-in-1 covers multiple things. It's used for opening cans. It's used for removing caulking. It's used for like cutting, cleaning the rolls. It has multiple uses. And spatulas, typically they're just meant for filling holes, for spreading material out, etc. You got your hammers that you'll be using as a painter. So hammers are hand tools used in painting and surface preparation to aid in wall repairs, nail setting, and paint removal. While primarily associated with construction and carpentry, hammers play an important role in prepping surface for painting. So I'm not going to go into detail of what each hammer does because you don't got to really know that much. Just remember, as a painter, you're more likely going to use a claw hammer. Okay, so that is your standard hammer with the flat striking face, or it could even be a rough striking face. The roughing is more for framing and carpentry, while the flat is meant for painters and more delicate work because it won't leave like wedges on the surface that you're hammering. So it's typically used for removing nails, fixing trim, wall repair, and demo. So just remember, as a painter, the only hammer you're ever going to really use is a flat face hammer. Okay. Heat guns. What are heat guns in the painting industry? A heat gun is a handheld tool that blows hot air to soften, remove, or cure paint at adhesives or and coatings. It operates like a hair dryer, but at a much higher temperature, typically between 100 Fahrenheit to 1,200 Fahrenheit. It is used to scrape paint off a surface too. Okay, so you remember that's what this tool does. It's a pretty simple tool. Hair dryer. So what is a hair dryer? It pretty much it blows. It's a blow dryer, also called a hot air blower, a heat gun dryer. It is a tool that speeds up paint drying by directing warm or hot air onto painted surfaces. It is commonly used in automotive, woodworking, and industrial painting applications. So typically, remember, or not even industrial, just residential in general. I think they confuse like these big machines to dry out with this. So ladders. Ladders are essential tools in the painting industry for reaching high surfaces, ceilings, walls, and exteriors safely and efficiently. Different ladders are used depending on the height, stability, and working conditions. So here you got your regular step ladder. It's self-supporting, A-frame. It's foldable. This is what most likely you'll use as a painter. You got your extension ladders. So adjustable heights, obviously you could adjust them going from like 12 foot all the way up to like 20 something feet. You got your platform ladders, has a standard platform for stability. Your multi-position ladders, right? Telescopic ladders. So those are those little ones that have like a base and extend from the base up. You got your scaffolding ladders and you got your folding ladders. Basically, the only thing you're ever going to know or you're going to need to know when it comes to this test is your step ladders and your extension ladders. They're not really going to ask you about anything else other than those. And they're not even going to go into detail about them. They're just going to tell you, what type would you use in a certain location, So, for example, aluminum is lightweight, rust resistant, and durable. This is typically used for indoor and outdoor painting and general use. Fiberglass is non-conductive, so that means it's safe near electricity. It's strong and weather resistant. It's used around electrical areas and high-reaching painting. Wood is sturdy, affordable, and heavier than aluminum. Interior painting and stable surfaces. Steel is extremely strong, heavy-duty use, and it's used for industrial painting and scaffolding. Just remember that the only thing they're going to ask you when it comes to aluminum and any of these ladders is they might ask you which one of these is safe around electricity, right? An electrical current, which one of them is safe around there? Just remember that it's always going to be fiberglass, right? Even wood can be safe too. So if you see that fiberglass isn't there, but like steel, aluminum, and wood is, just remember that it's going to be wood. But fiberglass is going to be your first choice. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys liked it.